So, why don't you give us a quick introduction about yourself and how you got to where you are today?
Okay. So basically, when I start college, I I guess in the beginning I just know I want to be a medical field, um, probably medical school. But a lot of time, if you don't get in or you get in, you have no idea. But I always want to pursue medical field, so I have a backup plan. If I don't get into medical school, I want to do research, perhaps genetic, perhaps microbiology, that path. So that's how I started. But I started with biology major. I thought I really love biology. After I took two courses, I said, well, maybe that's not what I want. So I switched to chemistry, and I love chemistry. So I said, well, chemistry is going to be hard too. And I just stick with it. And then I also minor in math because it involves a lot of math too. So, but biology major is great. I mean, regardless, you need a biology. So, but people have different, I have a classmate actually in dental school, actually majoring in history. And that's very interesting. Yeah. As long as you have a prerequisite, you can do any majors you want. Yeah. So you don't have to be totally biology, chemistry, or all that prerequisite type of things. Yeah. Do with your passion. Yeah. You can, if you're determined to go to medical school, you can go, computer science major, you'll find too. Yeah. So that's what that major started. Yeah. So
So
do you have
from
any?
Oh, yeah, sorry. So from there, what made you go down the dentistry path?
Okay, that's a good question. So actually, I didn't know so much of dentistry because I always think about just medical school. So I went to University of Georgia. They have a very good program, actually recruiting dentists at that time. Now this time right now, because you guys really in a tough competitive era. So the faculty actually from Medical College of Georgia went to University of Georgia, give us a little introductory about dental school. So, and I would just listen. I didn't know anything about dentistry. And then they just say, well, dental school actually a little bit different because you can own your business. And if you're, you know, want to own a business, your hours is flexible. You don't have to work 24 hours a day. So that's how I get involved. Yeah. So,
Okay, that sounds great. So, now could you give us a description about your day-to-day experiences in your field and what a normal workday would look like for you?
okay. So now it's a little bit different. It's a reality because you're really in the profession. So my normal hours is 9 to 5:30. It could be 9 to 6. It depends when is my last patient. Um, I think challenging part is not really um, how you do dental work, like a procedure wise. The most challenging part is management business part. That dental school, medical school usually don't teach you that until you actually own the business. You learn. So I think that's the most challenging part. Yeah, but I really enjoyed it. It just kept me going. Yeah, yeah. So
Great. So on your path to where you are today, were there any major challenges that you had to overcome, and how did you overcome them?
um, it's academic, absolutely. So I guess you guys gonna be senior, or are you guys all in junior year or high
So,
school?
I'll be a senior and Nolan's going to college.
Yeah.
Oh, this is your last year. You're graduating?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Congratulations. Yeah.
Ew.
So I think the most challenging part is, are you thinking about in the medical field, or you're debating, or?
So currently I'm thinking of going pre-med, but I'm trying to keep my options open.
Good, good. That's, I mean, nowadays it's always a good idea. You could be major, as I said, you can major in different things. It's, you take so many classes, you say, well, this is probably what I like. And I think most challenging part is you really have to keep up self-motivated. Um, this time it's all about community service, leadership, and your grades, especially pre-med track. Or I think another one is the killer is the business track. Those two. Yeah. Computer science, most people, even if you're good at science, you'll be fine. But I think pre-med is very competitive. Also, business finance is very competitive, those things. So if you go to a pretty good, famous college, so that's what they're looking for, because you're going to be, how do I describe that? Small fish in the big pond. So instead of big fish in the small pond. So that's what I say. If you go to a competitive college, you got to study really hard. So you have to be focused on that. Of course, you're going to have fun too, to meet people. I know a couple people actually, they're a freshman or sophomore in college. They're on the pre-med track. So what they're doing is GPA is very, very, very important. Also, they really look for your leadership. So anything you can get involved in college or high school, which is you're doing, these things is good for your leadership. Um, you want to join all the interesting club, not just the medicine club, but doing something that unique. Like, let me see, it could be like a breakdance club or something different than what you do. So they're looking for the diversity. That's what the most college looking for. Yeah. And what else? I think probably you guys already know all the stuff they're looking for, and do research or internship, or like a first year or second year when you get on the pre-med track, make sure you can get the research opportunities. That's how I got into dental school, because I think I was lucky enough to get a position over NIH. I don't know, NIH, National Institute of Health? Yeah. So I did a cancer research on the second year of my college. And actually, I published a paper with a professor. Yeah. So that's how I got in. I would never get into dental school these days, because it just, your kids are smart. Yeah. Yeah. So, but not necessarily you have to kill yourself to. I mean, I know people have, like a 3.1 or 2 GPA. That's pretty good in college already, but they just have a good quality of what people are looking for. Yeah, doesn't have to be a 4.0 GPA or 3.9. No, but they're looking for so many different things. Yeah. So
That is some great advice. So, the next question was what information you think that high school students should know before coming to this career path, and you very clearly answered that, and you definitely touched on the research, and that's pretty interesting, and how you did the research paper for NIH and published. That's really cool. Okay.
yeah. So also I think not just the research, you can just if you know someone, you can I know a kid in college, they actually, on the side of time, they do a certificate, like a nursing assistant certificate. So during the summer, and then they work in a hospital to assist a nurse. That's really, really good job. You got paid. And also that's your credential to apply medical school. See what kind of um, experience you have. So I think that would be good. So you might want to think about during the summer. Those certificate, actually, you just take a class for like 40 hours. You can, yeah. And then you can just get a certificate. You can find a job. if you go to some colleges that have a medical school next to it, they're always looking for nursing assistant. So you have that environment. So you already set to have a job in the summer. And even during the school year, you just work on weekends, like 2 or 3 hours. And some kids look for EMT certificate. I mean, if you're very brave to do the rescue things, yeah, that would be very, very good credential. Yeah. So you don't have to look so hard on campus to look for certain internship, unless you really like research. That's something different too. To build the good relationship with professor. Like you take biology class, you go to a big university, they always have a research program, and then just always ask, and then ask red professor, say, hey, do you have some interesting project that I'm maybe interested in this summer? And then just get yourself involved. Yeah. So this kind of things, you have to be self-motivated. You can't let people say, okay, there's a job offer. Nobody's going to ask you. You have to ask other people. Yeah. So it's more self-efficient. When you go to college, nobody's going to tell you what to do anymore. It's all up to you. So that's just my sense. So yeah, yeah. So what
Yeah.
classes you go ahead?
Oh, oh, sorry. I was just gonna say that I'm really glad that you talked about getting certifications because I think especially now it's really easy to get a lot of those certifications online, right? Like, do you just sit through some online classes? You might have to take some tests or whatever, and then you just qualify, and that opens up job opportunities.
I think you might, yeah, I think a lot of this is online, but you can actually, I think Innova have offered those classes. You might Google it. Also, Nova, you might want to look into it. Some of the kids want to be a dentist or dental assistant or dental hygienist. That's what they do to do a dental assistant certificate or radiology certificate so they can work. So that's very basic. And then they apply dental hygiene school. So they have a background of dental assistant. So they're ahead of everybody. Because once you go into dental hygiene school or dental school, you already know the basic setup instruments, terminology. So when you do a nursing assistant, you know a lot of medical terminology. So in the way, it helps you with biology class, anatomy class, which is required prerequisite for medical school or, occupation therapy, anything related. So I think that would be a really good path. It's not that difficult, really. And I think any high school level, that's most high school level kids, if they're really, really passionate about medicine, that's the good step to go. So you already have a job, you have a certificate, and that will lead you to the path. Yeah. Back then, I didn't have that choice, really. So now it's so many things opened up to young kids. Yeah. So don't let anything discourage you. Like, for instance, when you go to college, take a certain class, it may not be your strongest point, and then perhaps you made a C. That's not going to destroy your dream because you can imagine every class you get. I mean, you probably have a 5.0 GPA at this time. When you go to college, reality was set. You cannot make an A all the time. And then you just have to make a adjustment, say, I can do this. Even if I make a B minus, I can do this. So as I said, they do not only look at your GPA. GPA will help you, but you have to be all around. Yeah. So just make sure you keep up with your passion. You said, this is what I want to do. You want to have your head set. You don't say, oh, this is too hard. I'm going to change a major. That's a lot of kids doing that. So nothing will be easy. If everything is easy, then everybody else is doing it. That's what I tell my kids. Yeah. So, if you want to have a good career path, it's going to be difficult. So nothing will be easy. So I just say it's going to be hard, but it's definitely rewarding. I mean, when I was in dental school, I probably cried so many times because it's so hard. I make C's, I made B's, I made probably, I would say probably more B's than A's and then several C's, but I graduated. And then that's all counts is after when you graduate, what you do for your life too. So not just the school. But I want you guys to think that if you have a goal, you're gonna just pursue a goal. Don't stop. Don't get disappointed. Say, oh, I cannot do this. This is too hard. I see so many kids doing that. Yeah, yeah. But I'm
Yeah.
sure you guys are capable
Mm-hmm.
to do
Yeah,
that.
thank you. Yeah, and I'm really glad you touched on the motivation part and keep going because, like you said, we see like a lot of people changing their majors after picking pre-med because some of the courses are too hard and it's like important to still go on with it. So yeah, it was really great hearing it. Okay,
Right.
so this question is from a parent. So the question is, what advice do you have for parents in this day and age to motivate their kids to find their passion?
Okay. So in high school, I guess you guys have a lot of choices as far as taking the classes, right? You have AP classes, you have general classes. Um, my suggestion is try to take several different classes, different area. Like they offer you business class, offer you computer science class, offer you biology or chemistry, and you'll figure out which one you really like. And I know a lot of people go to college undecided. That's not a bad thing because if you know what you want to do, you already know what classes you want to take. Just because you're undecided, that doesn't make you um, less than other kids who know what their major will be. And the first year of colleges, you just want to make sure I take the certain core classes, like I think it's general education classes. Take different area for the first 2 semester. You will figure out, say, okay, this is what I want to do. A lot of kids think they want to do computer science, end up because it's so challenging they change to business or economics. And then because they're good at math, but just computer science may not be that what their passion is, they change to economics, which is great major as well too, and the minor with math or statistic. So just open mind. Don't try to limit it yourself. High school is fun, really. Even you take AP classes, sometimes it's so hard, but then college is a totally different experience. Yeah, undecided is not a bad thing, really. Yeah, as a matter of fact, undecided probably easier for you to get into college than decided. Depend your major, but pre-med, arts and science, usually it's very good. Sort of like a major, but it's very general. Yeah. Depends what colleges you're going, like a UVA. For the reason I can speak from my experience because my son's in UVA. So if you want to apply specific, like a biology major, is very competitive. But if you said undecided arts and science, you have a high chance to get in. Then you announce you're a biology major. Yes. Um, because UVA requires every single major you have to apply. It's not like if you're a business major, you guarantee you get in. Economic major, you have to finish your 2 years, you get in. So there are more lean toward to, if you apply arts and science undecided, you probably have a high chance to get in than computer science, specific engineering, or nursing.
Yes.
So they are very, very tough to get in. But other schools, I'm not really sure. Virginia Tech, you probably can get in with the majors because they do accept freshman year with the majors.
Okay.
So, but other schools, I think, is also you can get in with certain majors. UVA is the only one that you have to apply most majors. So undecided usually is a safe for UVA. But I don't know, where are you going?
Okay. Nolan.
Where are you
Okay,
going?
sorry, my Wi-Fi was being really wonky for a second, but I'm actually going to Boston University next
Oh,
year,
that's
and I'm
awesome.
majoring in biochem. Yeah, I actually chose it because
That's
I know
awesome.
like the city has so many internships and pre-medical opportunities. I know grade deflation is a thing there, but as you were saying, if you stay self-driven and you work hard to keep up your studies and accept getting a B, getting a C time to time, I'm
You'll
confident
be
I can.
fine. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
That's great school. And then you're right in the Boston, the city. And then that usually people go far away from it, usually self-motivated in the city. Yeah, yeah. So that's the right place for you. You know, I was
Yeah.
talking to my daughter. She's the same. Your age. She's going to college as well. So she's in the city type of setting person. So she's gonna go out of state. So, but none of my kids want to go to medicine. So, yeah, yeah, which is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
Okay. So this is another question. Okay. So you're in business and in healthcare because you're running your own thing. So what would you want to tell to women today and how they can be as like successful as you, and what habits should they cultivate, and what habits would help them in the future run and be successful like you?
So I always advocate for the new generation girls. Um, I think there's no limitations between boys and girls. Really, it's all about the hard work to put in, and anybody can achieve their goals. And I definitely think girls can do just as much as boys. So, so if the only things about going to business like what I do is support from the family, support from your friends when you're down, and then there's always someone back up for you. And my situation is when I graduated from dental school, I worked for other people for 5 to 7 years as an associate because I was scared. I didn't think I could open up a business because the money involved, and also I just feel like I was not capable by myself to do this big thing. And my husband was the one really encouraged me to open my business. So I think the family support absolutely is part of my successful story. My parents, and of course, you self motivated too. Once you start a business, and you just say, "I'm gonna do it," even though it's gonna be hard. And I also cried when I started because I have to learn how to do this. Because as I said, dental school won't tell you business part of it. And as you go along, you go through all the hardship. You know, when you start a business, is always worried. You don't know how you're going to be successful or not. But the determination definitely, self motivations, that's the key to it. For all the girls want to be um, successful and be what I want to say is to be forgot my thought. But anyway, it's all the determinations. If anybody else can do it, I can do it. That's the mentality of it. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, you have to be really self-organized and always on top of things. Yeah. So that's what I learned every day. I have to think ahead. What's next? Yeah. So like
That's
today I have
very
a day off. Yeah. And I was thinking tomorrow I have a list of things. Yeah, because you own your business, you got to manage people. That's another difficult things too. So, but it's all worth it. Yeah.
So for our next question, you've touched on the gender aspect of it. So what gender and racial disparities have you noticed in your field, and how have they impacted your experiences?
That's a good question. Okay. So when I started dental school, I went to Georgia. So that was, gosh, this is my 25th year's practice. So I'm old. Um, so I graduated early 90s. my class ratio, 55 students in my class. So 5 women only, rest of them all men. And for minority, we have 7 minority in my class. So pretty much predominantly, Caucasians, and then I think maybe 4 African American. I was the only Asian in there, so that was pretty. Not I wouldn't see as a diversified today. Yeah, it was pretty tough. It was pretty tough. Um, when you actually look how they grade people, how they for academic part, I do see the difference as far as racial involved. Um, Nowadays, I think you guys very lucky because this becomes such a big topic, diversity. So I really, really think you guys really in the right place, right time. I would not really think that would be a big issues as far as you're really on top of that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's yeah, that must be hard. So did you ever feel like it was too much or you should just give up at one point?
I at one point I did. I
Mhm.
thought, oh gosh, I failed this class maybe, and then maybe just I wasn't good enough. Yeah. But then I made a lot of friends actually in dental school, in college, which is really back then I didn't really give a second thought about race to be a factor. I really think I just need to work hard, really. I don't I didn't see myself because different from others. Maybe other people think me differently, but I didn't put that in my head. I just say I just need to work hard. But really, as I mentioned earlier, I cried so many times in dental school. The only things motivate me was if someone else can do it, I can do it. That's the only things I motivate myself. I compete within myself. I don't compete with others. That's the things you need to really keep in mind because everybody needs help. So if someone say, "Oh gosh, can you help me? I really, really have a hard time." This is the transition when you go to college. You will find your friends, true friends, which is people always competitive, but you want to make sure you'll be able to help others as well. So you'll feel very rewarding because if you try to compete other people for different reason, then for the long term, it's not going to be good. So really, really try to help others. So make you feel successful too. If other people do well, you do well. I think it's plus. Yeah, I think when you own the business, you want to help people. That's your goal. The reason you want to go to medicine because you want to help people. So I think if you think that way, when you go to college, when you go to dental school, it's not just for yourself. Of course, you want to do well yourself, but competitive. I think you want to compete within yourself. You want yourself to be better. You want to. Today I make B. I want to make A. It's for me. It's not because other people make A. So
Mhm.
that's the difference. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's a very healthy and a good way to motivate yourself, especially in such a
absolutely.
difficult field. Healthcare is very competitive, and I've heard from many different people in like different colleges, it can get very toxic and hyper
Yeah.
competitive. So it's good to hear like how to motivate yourself, like just by competing with yourself. So.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I said, pre-med is a cutthroat program, absolutely. But if you just determine it and then help others, meet the right people, right friends, you guys gonna be successful together. Yeah, it's the right people you meet. Yeah,
Mm.
I mean, you guys so smart. You know what kind of people you want to
Yeah.
associate with. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I mean, mostly kids are all very, very diligent. For any kind of majors. Yeah, if you want to be successful, really, it's not just pre-med. For any majors, you can be successful. Really, yeah. It's just your determinations. Yeah, because nobody
It's
else
all,
will tell you. So.
yeah, exactly. All right. So we're running, we've spent a lot of time, right? Longer than we initially told you it would take.
Okay.
So we're going to come to our last student question, and
Okay.
this is a pretty popular one. So in your field, what are the most significant changes caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, and how do you think it will affect our generation's experiences in the field?
Okay. So during the pandemic, you know how dentistry is. Of course, everybody's so afraid. Boy, anything related to mouth, that's the major things. So my practice actually shut down for 6 weeks. So that definitely had an impact with my business. But then, of course, all the vaccine come out. So I think in the future, medicine, dentistry is not going to go away. People need their dental health. So just because this pandemic is not going to destroy dentistry, as a matter of fact, probably it's going to be still going to be on the top of profession. And I have all the hope for dentistry, and for people out there who want to be pre-dental, I think those kids will have a great future for dentistry. Yeah, yeah, and because everybody have
Yeah.
has teeth. It's not
Yes.
going to go away. Yeah.
Yes.
And then we have a PPE, and then we know how to protect, and the patients and then people in the public know how to do, protect themselves. So everything will be fine. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. The guidelines, just follow the guidelines. I think they'll be fine.
CDC.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was mostly the fear, like when it first started, like all the unknowns. I think that's probably the fear of just going in. But as we know more, it's like everything's starting to open up, so everything's getting back to normal. But it's really interesting how it's a business. I always have to remind myself of that. Even healthcare is a business. So like shutting down for 6 weeks must be hard, and then going back to it. So wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. It was very stressful last year.
Mhm.
Yeah. But, as I said, life is now going to be constantly sweet. So always up and down. So is the school, college.
Yes.
Um, so go to college now. When I look back, it's not that difficult.
Mhm.
Really working, owning a business is tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of kids actually graduate from college. Now they're working, you know, uh, for some company and come in, because I saw those kids. The best part of my job is see the family, see the kids start from 4 years old. Now they're graduate from college. They're still coming back, and it's such a rewarding. And I just talked to the kids. I said, "Well, how do you feel like when you graduate? Now you're working. Do you miss college?" He
Mhm.
said, "Yeah, you're right. You know what? College actually was easy. Now go to the real world is tough." Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So that's a rewarding part, that when you build a relationship with family, because I have a family dentistry. So that's a
Mhm.
rewarding part for me, to see the kids from little to growing up as adult, and they all have their profession. So it's really, really nice to talk to them. Yeah.
That's really good.
It's like you, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I see you
Really.
from like little girl, 12, 11. Now
Yes.
you almost go to college.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Ready to apply soon. But yes,
Yeah.
yeah, thank you so much for coming today. Your advice and experiences, especially as a businesswoman, so good. Definitely. I'm pretty sure all our members are going to love this, and we can't wait to post it so everyone else can see. But thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, yeah. Good luck with everything. I'm sure
Yeah.
you guys will do great things.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Thank you. And do you have any parting words or last
Yes.
advice for our viewers?
I'm sorry.
Oh, do you have any last words for our viewers? Any last tips that you didn't get to give yet?
I just say good luck with all the students out there. I know how the pandemic so hard for all the high school kids, but you guys will do it and go with your passion.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Sounds
you'll be successful. You will be the best.